Welcome back, Careblazer. In today's video, I want to share with you 3 ideas you can start doing today to help improve the relationship you have with your loved one. Now, if you already have a wonderful relationship with your loved one, great. I'm so happy for you. These 3 ideas will help you strengthen that relationship even more. And if you feel like your relationship with your loved one is tense and strained, and there's a lot of arguments between the both of you, then this video will be especially important, especially if your loved one perhaps thinks that you try to do too much for them, or that you're treating them like a child, or that maybe you're getting in the way of them doing what they want to do. Then this video will be helpful. All right, are you ready? Let's talk about these 3 ideas. And real quick, if you haven't already, click the red subscribe button on your screen. It's totally free and it helps make sure you don't miss out on any important announcements or future videos. Okay, here we go. My number 1 idea is to do something every day that does not involve caregiving, or what you would think about when you traditionally think about caregiving. What happens a lot in dementia is that the person caring for the person with dementia, so let's say it's a daughter caring for a mother, or a spouse caring for a spouse, or a son caring for a father, right? Whatever the relationship is, what ends up happening is we stop the human-to-human connection and we go to a caregiver-patient connection. It's just so easy to do along the dementia journey, but it really does start to wear away at the relationship. So by doing something every day, or challenging yourself to do something every day that isn't necessarily what you would consider traditional caregiving, you are fostering the human-to-human connection. Here are some ideas to try on a regular basis to help foster that human connection. Watching a funny show together. Genuinely smiling at your loved one. Giving a truthful compliment to your loved one. Bringing up a fun memory from the distant past and share how much you loved that time with them. Giving them a hug, holding their hand, offering them a back massage. Telling them a joke and asking them to tell you one as well. Asking them to share with you their favorite childhood memory. Flipping through a photo album together. The options are truly endless, Careblazer. What you want to do here is just think of something you would genuinely enjoy doing with somebody you love, and then try to make that happen with your loved one with dementia. So idea number 2 is to offer some sort of praise, words of kindness, or compliment daily. It's so easy to go through the caregiving relationship without saying loving, thoughtful, kind words to our loved ones. It's not that we don't feel that way, but there's so much to think about and so much to juggle, it doesn't really cross our mind. So being intentional daily to try to say loving, kind words to your loved one with dementia can really go far. Obviously, this is a great idea in any relationship that you're in, but especially with dementia, where it can often seem like so much the things that are being told to them are things about what they can't do well, or what they need to change, or somebody telling them something that needs to be done. They don't often hear some of the loving, kind words, or they don't often hear compliments. So this can be really helpful in building up the relationship between you and your loved one. So I'm encouraging you with this idea is to find one opportunity a day to give a genuine compliment, to say something encouraging, to say something kind. And I'm encouraging you to do this even if you would consider your loved one mean, even if your loved one doesn't seem to want a good relationship with you, even if your loved one hasn't said anything nice to you in a while, I'm really encouraging you to give this idea a try. And what you say doesn't have to be anything earth-shattering. You can make comments like, "Good morning," with a smile, or "I enjoy having coffee with you. You look really nice in that shirt today. Thanks for eating breakfast with me. I love your laugh. You have such a nice smile." The only rules in this idea is that you say something loving and kind, and you can do it even if you don't already have a great relationship with your loved one. The really great thing about this idea is that it's actually going to start training your brain to go through the day looking for an opportunity to give a genuine compliment or looking for an opportunity to say something truly loving and kind. You're actually training your brain to start looking for those things, and whatever you start to look for and focus on, that's what you'll start to experience. So it's an added bonus of this idea. All right, and idea number 3 is to help your loved one without highlighting or commenting or bringing attention to the idea that you are helping. There is so much in caring for somebody with dementia that involves you providing care, and it can be really overwhelming and stressful and time consuming when you start to think about everything that you have to do. But what ends up happening for a lot of people, and especially in the relationship, is that the person with dementia might start to push back on what you're trying to do to help. They might start to feel resentful for what you're trying to do when you're helping, or they might just start to feel pretty defeated and hopeless, and they might feel like they have no more purpose in life, that you're pretty much doing everything for them and they can't do it. So the goal with this idea is for you to continue providing the help that they need, but in a way that doesn't continually put you in the forefront of their helper, right? We're trying to shift the roles from caregiver to patient, where it's very clearly felt on both ends, to human, spouse to spouse, child to parent, right? And so that's the goal of this idea, is to be able to continue to help them, but without really making it so noticeable that you're helping. Here's a couple of ideas. Remove any obstacles ahead of time when you can. For example, automatically serving them food in bite-sized pieces if they have trouble cutting. You don't want to do it in front of them or wait for them to ask you for help. Automatically serving them drinks with lids so you're not having to clean up spilled drinks in front of them if they have a tendency to spill their drinks. Making sure the clothes they have access to in their room are all interchangeable, easy to put on, so you're never in the position of having to tell them what they're wearing isn't appropriate for the weather or for the situation. And you don't ever comment on how much help they need. Usually there is no reason to tell them how much help they need. You don't remind them that they can't do something. If they talk about going to work later, you don't remind them that they're retired. You offer a kind word or two and continue on with a conversation or day. You can simply respond, "You really liked working at your company. What was your favorite part?" Or you can say, "You've always been a great worker." See how that combines the previous idea of offering a kind word to this idea of not reminding them or highlighting anything that they can't do. If there's something you can do to help them without them knowing, go for it. If there's something they can't do or something they struggle with, see if you can help them without them knowing or doing it ahead of time. If they tell you they can do things that they can't, and they're safe and won't actually try to do those things, then you can simply engage them in the conversation, acknowledge what they said without telling them they can't. Here's an example of that. Let's say you live with your loved one who has dementia and they are no longer able to drive and they don't have access to keys and they never really try to take your keys and get in the car and drive, but they like to tell you about how great of a car driver they are and that they can still drive. If you know that they're safe and they don't have access to keys and they're not going to drive, you don't have to remind them that they can't drive. You could just say, "Oh, that's nice," right? "Oh, you really liked driving." Or, "What was your favorite car?" Or, "I like driving too," right? We don't have to engage in the correction, especially if there's not a risk right away that they're going to go do the thing that they're unsafe doing. So let's recap real quick on the 3 things that you can start doing to help improve the relationship you have with your loved one. Number 1, do something daily that does not involve caregiving. Number 2, offer kind, loving words or compliments daily. Remember, make sure they're true to you. And 3, help them without highlighting that you're helping. All right, Careblazer, let me know which one of these 3 things you plan to try to implement with your loved one. If you have another idea of something that's really been helpful to your relationship with your loved one, leave it in a comment below, as it can help so many other Careblazers. And I'll be back next week with another video. Remember, Careblazer, try a consistent practice with this. If you don't see immediate changes right away, that's okay. There's no harm to be done from trying these 3 ideas, so stick with it. I'll be back next week. In the meantime, if you want to consider working with me further and being a part of my Care course, there is a wait list below this video where you can sign up, and you'll be one of the first people alerted when it opens in November. All right, Careblazer, I'll be back. Take care.